You've seen a little bit of Python. Now I want to show you how to load data into the Python environment. We're going to do that using tables. What's a table? If you've used a spreadsheet, I'm sure you know what a table is. A table is a rectangular grid. It looks something like this. It's got rows and it's got columns. And we put all our data into a table. What you can see in a table is that it's got labels. Each column has a label. The label indicates what kind of information is contained in that column. Each row represents a thing. In this case, we've got data about some states, so each row represents a state. In other cases, each row might represent a person, or a car, or an object, or a thing. So each row represents something we care about, and each column corresponds to an attribute of that thing. So here, a state has a name, it has an abbreviation, and it has an area. All of the data within a column should be of the same type. So if you look at the rightmost column, it's got the areas of the states. And you can see those are all numbers. That makes sense because the area has the same units. And if you look at the leftmost, the name, everything in that column should be text. So all of our data in this course is going to be organized in a table. A table is a way to keep the data organized and to put some structure on it. Let's see an example of loading this into Python. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take some data that I exported from a spreadsheet and load it into the environment. You can see this looks like a function call because it's got parentheses. And sure enough, this is going to invoke a function called table.readTable. What that function does is it loads the contents of that file and creates a table and loads it into the Python programming environment where we can work on it using Python code. You can see this is a table where we have one row per flower and we've got some attributes of the flowers. Maybe it'd be handy to have a name for this table so that we can work with it. We can do that. We can assign a name. We can create a new name, flowers, and that will refer to this table. So if we look at what's contained, what that name refers to, we can see it's referring to the contents of that table. So next, you're going to see some ways to work with the data once you've got it in a table using Python code. Why tables? Well, this might be familiar to you. If you've ever used a spreadsheet, you know about putting code in tables. But in this course, we're going to go beyond spreadsheets. Spreadsheets limit what you can do. And we're going to want to do computation on data. We're going to have some things we want to do, compute on the data over and over again repetitively. And so for that purpose, it's going to be really useful to be able to have this in a programming environment where we can write code that works with the data. And so in this course, you're going to go to the next level beyond spreadsheets. And you'll see, once you've got the data in a table, how you can start to work with it using Python code.